Before you is a road, worn down by footsteps of the past. It stretches toward a distant horizon, where shadows of history loom, their outlines blurred. We speak of great men and their choices, heroes and tyrants, but sometimes the most dangerous decisions aren't the ones made out of evil. Sometimes the most dangerous decisions are the ones made from fear, the ones made to avoid confrontation. In the year 1938, Neville Chamberlain faced a crossroads. He chose appeasement, a choice made not from courage but from desperation. The hope that if he just asked enough times, if he just gave enough, then peace would come. But what peace comes when you surrender to a wolf dressed in sheep's clothing? I am Mercury, a god of messages, of choices, and of consequences. I have seen the world teeter on the brink of ruin, more times than I care to count. But this story, Neville Chamberlain's story, is one that must be told again. Because in your time, the same mistakes are being made. The same fears are leading your citizens and your leaders down roads they refuse to confront. And as they pander to those fears, they turn their backs on the one thing that matters most: truth. You see, the past never truly stays behind. It slinks, waiting for the right moment to emerge again. The patterns repeat, and you, the ones who live with the consequences, are the ones who must choose. So why now? Why Chamberlain? Because you, like him, are standing on the precipice. And if you do not learn from his failures, you may very well find yourselves trapped by them again. Peace is not a simple word, my friend. It is not a commodity to be bartered for cheap promises. And appeasement, the act of giving in to preserve the illusion of calm, will only open the door to a much darker future. If we do not confront the shadows now, they will grow, unchecked and unchallenged. That's why I tell you this story. That's why perhaps it is already too late. But perhaps, just perhaps, there is still time to stop repeating it. Not all trials take place in sacred halls. Some happen behind desks. And sometimes, history's greatest tests are written with ink, not blood.
Whispers, what if they're right? What if this is the last chance to avoid another war? They say peace is possible. But is it peace or is it just survival? I've seen the horrors of war. I know what it costs. The world can't afford another conflict. But will this decision haunt me forever? Will they say I sacrificed something far more precious? The soul of the world itself mutters. I must be certain. This is my choice to make, no one else's. I'll give everything to prevent war. But what am I really giving? A part of me, a part of all of us.
But peace is not peace, Neville. It is only the absence of conflict, and appeasement is never the path to victory. You've heard his name, Neville Chamberlain, his face forever linked with the Munich Agreement, the great hope and the great betrayal. Neville Chamberlain was a man who believed in peace, not the peace of warriors, but the peace of politicians. He did not seek to confront evil, but to appease it, a dangerous path. He stood on the precipice of history, holding the weight of the world on his shoulders. In 1938, Chamberlain believed he could avoid war at any cost.
But didn't he know? Didn't he see the danger?
He thought he did. But the greatest danger is not the one we know, it's the one we fail to see. Chamberlain believed he could bargain with Hitler, believing that by offering him land, the Sudetenland, he would secure peace. But peace is not born from weakness, it is born from strength.
An appeaser is one who feeds a crocodile hoping it will eat him last.
And in his false victory, Chamberlain sowed the seeds of defeat. By choosing appeasement, he opened the door to greater evil, not just for Europe, but for the world.
But wasn't it better to try and avoid conflict? What is this place?
A trial rarely taken, the trial of the coward's peace. It's not about betrayal or evil, it's about silence.
They didn't choose wrong, they just didn't choose.
Exactly, they told themselves it was wisdom, but it was fear, dressed up as neutrality.
Do all of us face this trial?
No, but many should, and some never realized they already did.
Is that me? Am I hiding too? Is that common in America right now?
That's not for me to say, that's for you, when the time comes.
I've spent so much time trying not to take sides, but maybe not choosing is a side.
Of course. Now you're beginning to see. But appeasement is not avoidance, it is surrender. And a coward's peace comes with a price too high for any man to pay. When Chamberlain returned from Munich, He held up a piece of paper, a promise, a guarantee, and the world cheered. Peace in our time, they said. But peace was never the goal. Power was. The illusion of peace fell quickly. In less than a year, the world plunged into the darkness of war. The sacrifices made for peace were hollow. Chamberlain's failure to confront evil doomed millions.
I thought peace was a paper, something I could sign into being. But peace, it needed more than ink. It needed courage, and I brought silence, wrapped in hope. I feared the world would burn, so I gave them kindling and called it salvation. I believed it would be enough. But with tyrants, it is never enough.
He gave all he could, but not what was needed. And history remembers not his fear, but its consequences. He did not understand that when you give in to darkness, you only give it strength. Chamberlain, for all his faults, believed in the goodness of man. But believing in a man's good intentions is not enough to save the world. What is required is courage. The courage to defend what is right, even in the face of impossible odds. Appeasement is the failure to act, and in a world where power seeks only its own gain, this is the gravest mistake one can make. In truth, it is the lie we tell ourselves in order to avoid responsibility. It is easier to placate than to confront. It is easier to turn away, to look for a middle ground where none exists. But the cost of that choice, it is the loss of everything worth fighting for. Chamberlain's failure was not merely a failure of policy, it was a failure of character. The truth is that peace without strength is not peace, it is surrender. We must never mistake appeasement for peace. We must stand firm against those who seek to destroy what is good. It is the only way to preserve the light in the world. Ask the one who was carved for this moment. You've heard Mercury's story. You've seen the cost of choosing the wrong path. But now the question lies with you. Will you appease, or will you fight for truth? This is your choice. The choice to stand firm to protect what is good, and to confront evil head-on, or to turn away and surrender everything. Will you light the candle, or strike the match that burns the world? Choose wisely. The Curria stands not for appeasement, but for action, for truth, for the flame of reason, never to be extinguished. Take our quiz and join us. Let your truth be heard in the comments. Click the bell. Light the flame within you.
He held a paper in trembling hand and spoke of peace across the land. A promise signed, no need to fight, but darkness gathered out of sight. A cheer arose, the crowds believed, while shadows plotted and deceived. He gave away what courage keeps, and history weeps. This is the peace that never was, bought with fear and weak applause, not with strength, not with grace, just silence in a coward's place. A flame once flickered, then it died, when truth was traded, hope denied. Appeasement wore a gentle name, but bowed to shame. They say he meant the best of things, but wolves don't stop for doves with wings. A lion watched behind the gate and warned them all. Too late, too late. The price of peace is never free. It must be forged with all. honesty. And when we kneel to liars' will, the silence kills. Peace without strength is not